Hi, this is Raymond Rose. Thanks for joining me today. I'm going to share with you how I've gained at least 1 hour of time every single day in my life. Actually, more like 2 or 3 hours, but I'll just say 1 hour to start. And I'm going to share with you the different tips that I've used to help me get in that position. You may not be aware of the fact, if you haven't listened to my other podcast, I've taught time management courses in the past. I'm going to share with you my tips right now. First thing is you have to wrap your head around the fact that accept that there's only 24 hours in a day, 168 hours in a week. If your calendar is filled up now and you've got something new that you want to bring into your life, you have to understand that you have to start letting go of something else. And to make that really simple to understand, let me give you a story about my kids, and stay with me because you'll see how all this works. When my kids were young, there was a toy box. Every single toy that they owned had to fit in their toy box. Zero tolerance. It had to fit in their toy box. And here's the key. When they wanted to get a new toy, they knew that something that was already in their toy box had to come out. So that if they wanted a new toy and it was a large toy, they had to understand that they might have to take 2 or 3 toys out of their toy box to make room for the new toy. So they had to make that decision, number one. And then number two, they had to decide what toys specifically were going to come out of the toy box. They were either going to give them away to a friend or maybe donate them. So at a young age, my kids understood if they wanted a new toy, something had to come out. And how big the toy was, how much importance it was, did they really like the new toy enough to make sure that they had to get rid of some of their existing toys? There was a process that was involved. Now, if you can accept that and understand how that works, that's why it's coming back to time management, and you need to do the same thing with your existing time. If you've got new things that you want to bring into your life, you have to accept the fact that something has to come out of your life. And what we're going to talk about right now are, in my opinion, the 3 things that I've taken out of my life, or I've been really more conscious about, that makes my life so simple, so focused. I'm not one of those people that's constantly on a hamster wheel that says, oh my God, I'm busy, busy, busy all the time. I don't know where the day went. I'm stressed out. I've got anxiety. I've got too many balls that I'm juggling. That's not where you want to be. So stay with me. Here's the first thing that I would suggest that you consider doing. Ready for this? You need to learn to say the word no, N-O. Stop feeling obligated when people ask you to do something. Don't feel awkward to say the word no. Don't put yourself in a position where you're saying yes to everything. That's not good. You want to be able to say the word no without any type of guilt, because every time you say yes to something that you don't really want to do, you're saying no to something that might be more of a priority in your life. You need to really, in fact, write this down. You need to define what your personal boundaries are. You need to adhere to your boundaries, and you don't want other people to interfere with your boundaries. You should know on any given day or during the week, whatever, what your priorities are. What are things that you absolutely want to accomplish that day or that week or whatever? Because again, like I said at the beginning, you've only got 24 hours in a day and 168 hours in a week. For me, my little secret that I learned this years and years ago is that you need to be able to say no very comfortably. And what I've done is this. I have a sentence that I use. It just rolls out of my mouth, so that if you were to say to me, hey, would you like to come out to dinner with me on Thursday night? And I don't want to go, I'm going to say, hey, thanks for the invitation. That's very thoughtful. However, I've got some priorities that I'm working on right now in my life, and I'm not going to be able to make it for dinner on Thursday. But hey, but thanks. Thanks for thinking of me. That just comes right out of my mouth. So that's very important. You need to be able to say the word no. And that's saying no to maybe your boss or your coworkers or your spouse, your kids, whatever. Obviously, you're making that decision on when it's best to say no, and really when something might be in your best interest to say yes. But being able to say the word no is really powerful. So make sure that you get that in your head. Number 2, ready for this one? Turn off your TV or stop or watch less TV. You know, the average American is still spending over 4 hours a day on watching television, which is considered personal entertainment. So my suggestion would be watch 3 hours of TV. Or the challenge with TV these days is when you start watching a series, you're almost feeling obligated to say, oh, I got to watch the next episode. I got to watch the next episode. And next thing you know, you're watching 9, 12, 15, 20, 30 hours of a television show that, yeah, it's giving you, entertainment, personal entertainment. But I would ask you, what are you ignoring when you're watching that 20 hours and numerous episodes of a TV show? What are you ignoring when you're doing that? Can you honestly say that you're getting, your 30 to 60 minutes of walking in every day? Are you making your heart race? Are you spending enough time with your spouse, with your kids? Are you focused enough on your annual finances? Can you tell me that your retirement plan is right where it should be? And this is a big one. Do you have enough free time for yourself? That's really, really important. So I would suggest that you consider spending less time watching TV and less time on personal entertainment and more time on personal learning or personal time with your family, friends, with yourself, or whatever. So let me take a quick break before I get to number 3. I want to say thank you for listening to this podcast today, and to let you know that all my podcasts are all about helping you live a happy and focused life. For me, I've got 4 areas of my life that are my priorities. Those 4 areas are: number 1, I want to have excellent health. Number 2, I want to have lots of free time. Number 3, I want to be really smart about money. And number 4, I want to really have good habits. Every day I make a short podcast for you. It lasts just a few minutes. It's either going to be about your health, your time, your money, or your habits. Please consider subscribing to this podcast. All you have to do is tap on that black button on the screen that says subscribe. You'll get many useful tips on my podcast every day. The podcast is sent directly to your YouTube channel, so there's no junk mail or spam or nothing like that. And then you can listen to my podcast whenever it's convenient, one day at a time or a bunch, or whenever it's convenient for you. Listen to it while you're driving or walking or shopping or whatever. So that's it. Consider subscribing to my podcast. And now for number 3, stop doing mundane tasks. Look at all the things that you might be doing every single day that either A, don't have to be done, or B, somebody else could be doing them, or C, they could be automatic. So for example, one of the things I was taught many years ago, these 3 words, really, really important. Ready? Automate, delegate, eliminate. As you're going through your day, as you're going through your week, be mindful of what you're doing and saying to yourself, do I really have to be doing this? Could this process, whatever it might be, could it be automated? And one of the examples I give all the time is banking. I've been using my online bank for, goodness, since they first came out. But the key is I have all my invoices, all my bills, my credit card, whatever different things automatically goes into my online bank account. The mail doesn't even come to my home. And the bank app automatically pays every single one of my bills automatically on time and in full. I don't even think about it. It's all automated. I'm not writing checks. I'm not bouncing my checkbook. And when people say, oh, I don't know if I have confidence in that. Well, of course you should have confidence in that. There is no doubt about it. The days of writing checks, bouncing checkbooks, getting the mail open, that should all be automated. And there's so many other things that can be automated in life. Number 2, what task are you doing that you can delegate? And one of the examples I like to use is I remember the old days 20, 30 years ago when your automobile needed an oil change, people were changing their oil at home. And then after a period of time, it's like, wait a minute, what am I doing spending all this time going out and buying the oil and getting an oil filter, driving, getting underneath my car, getting dirty? Why don't I just delegate that task to my auto dealer, to my auto guy, auto woman, whoever? Why don't I just delegate that out? So you stop changing your oil. What other things are you doing now that you don't have to do anymore? Delegate that stuff out. And then number 3, what things can you just simply eliminate? Maybe you do something every week that only needs to be done every other week or whatever. All I'm saying is be mindful of all the mundane tasks that you're doing that you can stop doing. Automate, delegate, or eliminate. So those are my 3 things. I'm hoping you got some good information from it. Hey, before I go, there's a couple of quick things. Number 1, I'm new to podcasting. I want to do my very best to serve you. If you think there's something I could be doing better, please go down in the comment section below and critique me. What am I doing good? What am I doing bad? What could I be doing even better? Number two, if you enjoyed this, please give me a thumbs up on the link below. That way I can know that I'm on the right track. And you might even want to share this podcast with any of your family, maybe your kids, your coworkers, or whatever. And then lastly, please scroll through my other comments, my other podcasts, and check out what I've already recorded. I think you'll find some good information there too. So that's it for today. This is Raymond Rose. I really do appreciate you listening. I appreciate your support. I'll talk to you tomorrow.